Ratan Tata, the founder of one of India's biggest business conglomerates.
Have you ever been in love?
Oh, yeah.
How many times?
Seriously, 4 times.
Ratan Tata, a big name in Indian business, had a quiet sadness that few people knew about. He didn't go through messy divorces, but he had 4 relationships that never made it to marriage. His first love, an American woman, hurt him the most. He tried to love again 3 more times, but he couldn't let go of the past. Why was that first love so hard to forget? Who was she, and what stopped them from being together? Their story, shaped by distance and fate, is one of the saddest parts of his life. Let's find out what happened with the love that might have turned Rattan's life around. The love that left a scar. Ratan Tata was a big industrialist and a kind person in India. He earned people's praise because of his leadership skills and philanthropy. He kept his personal life quiet, which made people wonder about his love life. A young Ratan Tata went to the United States in the early 1960s. A new book called Ratan Tata, A Life, says he fell in love with Carolyn Emmons, a 19-year-old college student. Her dad, Frederick Earl Emmons, who introduced them, was a well-known architect who ran the firm Jones & Emmons with another designer, Archibald Quincy Jones. Rattan had just finished his architecture degree at Cornell University and wanted a job at Jones & Emmons. That's how he ended up in Los Angeles and met Carolyn. The book by Thomas Matthew says Carolyn thought Rattan was her first true love. They liked the same things, and her mom thought he was great for her. Both families supported their relationship, and it looked like it would work out. But then something got in the way. In July 1962, Rattan had to go back to India because his grandmother was very sick. Carolyn planned to join him later. However, in October that year, the India-China War started. Even though a ceasefire happened a month later, Carolyn's family worried about the trouble in India. They thought it was too risky for her to go. In the end, the war pulled them apart. Matthew wrote that even with the ceasefire, things still seemed too uncertain for an American like Carolyn. Carolyn later married Owen Jones, who was an architect and a pilot. She said, "The funny thing is that I married a man who was very much like Rattan." Having ended their romantic affair, both moved on. But is this the end of their love story? Let's find out more before drawing a conclusion. Second love affair. One name linked to him was Simi Garewal, a well-known Bollywood actress and talk show host. Their connection wasn't just talk, it was a real bond, but never led to marriage. Rattan and Simi first met long ago when they were both starting. Simi was gaining fame in movies like Mera Naam Joker and Cars, while Rattan was advancing in the Tata Group, a large corporation. They lived in a fancy world, but got close because they respected each other and had similar ideas. Simi once said Rattan was her first friend when she came back to Mumbai from another country. Both faced new problems, and their friendship grew strong. Over time, it turned into love. However, they didn't reveal this to everyone. Both valued privacy. Back in the 1970s and 1980s, when they were together, people didn't intrude into celebrities' lives as much as they do now. Yet their friends understood that they meant a lot to each other. Simi called Rattan perfect, modest, and funny. Someone who cared more about doing what was right than about money. She said, "Rattan and I go back a long way. He's the perfect gentleman." That shows how much she cherished him. Rattan seemed to appreciate her grace and intelligence as well. They appeared on her show, Rendezvous with Simi Garewal, in 1997, where they discussed life, love, and marriage. This hinted that they were close, even if they never acknowledged it publicly. Nevertheless, their relationship had problems because of their busy jobs. Rattan ran the Tata Group, traveled extensively, and had big duties. Simi acted and later hosted her popular talk show in the 1990s and early 2000s. Their schedules made it hard to be together. Rattan said he put work first in interviews, which stopped him from marrying, even when he came close a few times. That might have happened with Simi too. They were serious, and some said they thought about marriage. But life and their paths pulled them apart. Perhaps their different lives played a role. Rattan was immersed in business and industry, while Simi was involved in show business. They respected one another, but blending those worlds could have been challenging. Simi had other loves before and after Rattan. including a brief marriage to Ravi Mohan in the 1970s that eventually ended. Rattan never married, although he claimed to have fallen in love several times. Their time together didn't last, but they remained friends, which indicates they still cared for each other. How did it end? No major fight or public drama occurred, as far as we know. Maybe their love faded away. Maybe because they were too far apart, got too busy, or figured out they weren't meant to stay together. Rattan put all his effort into his career and never settled down. Later, when people asked about their past, Simi talked nicely about Rattan, but didn't say much. She said, "We go back a long way." Rattan, even quieter, hardly ever talked about his private life, but they stayed friends. When Rattan died in October 2024, Simi put a sad message online. She wrote, "They say you have gone. It's too hard to bear your loss. Farewell, my friend." That showed she still cared a lot, even after all those years. Their love didn't end in marriage, but it left a big mark. For Rattan, it was one of several love affairs that didn't work out. He later said he sometimes felt lonely, but liked having his freedom. Simi had other love stories too, like her times with big names such as the Maharaja of Jamnagar and cricketer Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi. But with Rattan, there was something special, a strong tie of respect and understanding. People often wondered why they didn't marry. Some said Rattan's big job kept him too busy, while others thought Simi cared more about her career and being on her own. Some felt it was just bad timing. Whatever the reason, their story grabbed people's attention because both were so well known. Rattan was seen as successful and humble, and Simi was liked for her grace and smarts. Together, they mixed business and movies in a way that people noticed. Besides his first American love and Simi Garewal, these stories reveal that he genuinely cared for people, but faced challenges that prevented him from marrying. One of these challenges occurred when he met a young Gujarati woman who was significantly younger than him. They met in her early 20s. Those who knew him remarked that she was very pretty, and Rattan had strong feelings for her. He wanted to build a life with her, but the relationship ended quickly. Why? The young lady returned to her former boyfriend. This caused Rattan pain, but he never spoke about it publicly. He kept his feelings to himself and moved on without making a fuss. There were also speculations about other women in Rattan's life, but no one knows much. In talks, he once said he had nearly married 4 times, but something always got in the way. One might have been a woman he met around 2000, maybe on a trip or for work. Some said they spent time together and liked the same things, but that's all. If they were together, it ended quietly. Rattan never said why, but he often mentioned timing and work as big reasons. He sometimes liked being alone, but also felt lonely without a family. Whoever she was, she didn't stay, and they split without anyone noticing. People close to him mentioned another possible love, but no name was given. They said Rattan met a woman in a European country during his business trips. They got on well and saw each other, but their lives were too different to keep going. He lived in India with his duties, and she didn't want to move. He couldn't leave his job either, so they stopped because of distance and choices. Rattan dealt with it calmly, kept it private, and went on. In every case, the endings weren't about fights or hard feelings. They were about things like being far apart, family concerns, or bad timing. Rattan never married, but these love stories of 2 unknown women and 2 famous women show that he wanted to love and care a lot. Each time, something he couldn't control stopped him: war, family needs, or work. Even though these didn't work out, he stayed friends with some, like Carolyn, which shows he was kind. His private life stayed out of sight, but these tales show he had the same love troubles as anyone. After he died in October 2024, people remembered his work, but these quiet loves added a personal touch to his story, proving he felt happiness and sadness like everyone else. But before his death, he was able to experience love again with the first woman he loved in America. How did this happen? Let's find out. Last year's reunion. Caroline felt bad that she couldn't try again with their love. She later married Owen Jones, an architect and pilot, and they had 2 children. In the book, she said, "Funny enough, I married a man a lot like Rattan." Owen died in 2006. The next year, Caroline watched the movie The Darjeeling Limited with her friends. It showed three brothers taking an emotional trip to India. After the movie ended, a friend asked if she had ever thought about going there. That simple question made her remember old times. Caroline said she knew someone there and wanted to look for him online. She found out that Ratan Tata became the chairman of Tata Sons and the Tata Trust. She sent him an email to say she planned to visit India. The year after, she spent about 5 weeks in the country. In 2008, she met Rattan again for the first time in years. Matthew wrote that they met in Delhi and spent time together, like they used to. Caroline kept going back to India often, including for Rattan's 80th birthday in Mumbai on December 28, 2017, and again in 2021. Whenever Rattan came to the United States, he took her out for dinner, showing they still cared a lot, even after so long. Rattan did the same when he was in the United States. Their friendship lasted long, proving the strong link they had years ago could handle time, distance, and surprises. They did not tie the knot in their youth, but in the later part of their lives, both found the time to express the love that war and cultural differences denied them. Despite not finding love that would lead to marriage, he never let it affect his relationship with the world. Throughout his life, he was known as a good man and heavily invested in philanthropy. In the absence of marriage that would have led to a biological child, he had one confidant who had probably taken over his place. Philanthropy and adoption. Ratan Tata, who was the respected chairman emeritus of the Tata Group and a well-known Indian billionaire, is recognized for his business acumen and philanthropic efforts. Shantanu Naidu, a young and dynamic general manager regarded as one of Ratan Tata's closest associates, stood beside him in the spotlight. Shantanu Naidu gained public attention after a video of him celebrating Ratan Tata's birthday went viral, garnering the affection and support of fans and well-wishers across the country. Even though Ratan Tata never married or had children, he took Shantanu Naidu into his close group and treated him like a son. At the age of 29, Shantanu Naidu started working with Ratan Tata in May 2022. Born and raised in Pune, Shantanu Naidu got his engineering degree from Savitribai Phule Pune University in 2014. After that, he studied for a master's in business administration at Cornell Johnson Graduate School of Management in 2016. When he finished school, Naidu began working as an automobile design engineer at Tata Elxsi in Pune. In a big moment, while working at Tata Elxsi, Shantanu Naidu saw that many dogs were dying because of fast cars. He wanted to fix this problem, so he devised the idea of making collars for dogs that would make them easier to see at night, even without streetlights. To get help for his new idea, Naidu wrote a letter to Ratan Tata explaining his plan. Amazingly, Ratan Tata not only answered, but also asked Naidu to meet and talk about the plan. This meeting started a friendship between two people who loved dogs, which eventually led to Naidu's getting a job as Ratan Tata's assistant and later as a general manager. Besides his jobs in the Tata Group, Shantanu Naidu also started his own business with Goodfellows. This company helps older people and is worth about 5 crore rupees. Ratan Tata, showing he supports Naidu's ideas, also invested in this new company. Shantanu Naidu's path shows that success, deep relationships, and chances can come from new ideas and real passion. As a trusted helper to Ratan Tata and a growing business owner, Naidu keeps progressing in big companies and new startups. His philanthropy, helping others with money and time, touched India and the world in many ways. He used his wealth and influence to improve people's lives while remaining humble and seeking no praise. In India, Ratan Tata really cared about education. He thought learning could change lives and gave money to build schools, colleges, and universities. A big example is the Tata Institute of Social Sciences in Mumbai, which teaches people how to fix social problems like poverty and health. He also helped the Indian Institute of Technology and other top schools, making sure students had what they needed. He wanted to give young people chances to do well, no matter where they came from. He once said, "Education is the key to progress," and he lived by those words. Healthcare was another area where he made a big difference. He gave money to hospitals and medical research through the Tata Trusts, which handle his family's charity work. The Tata Memorial Hospital in Mumbai is famous for treating cancer, especially for people who can't pay for it. Rattan made sure poor people could get help too, so they didn't suffer just because of money. He also helped during big problems, like floods or earthquakes, by sending aid and building shelters. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, his trusts gave millions to buy vaccines, masks, and other things, saving many lives. He also cared about rural India, where lots of people live in small villages without basic things like clean water or electricity. Rattan started projects to bring water and power to dry places and far-off areas. For example, the Tata Trusts made plans to help farmers grow more crops and make more money. He wanted to reduce poverty and make life better for villagers. His work reached millions, making him a hero in places where help was hard to find. He believed in helping wherever needed, not just in his own country. After natural disasters like tsunamis or hurricanes in other countries, he sent money and resources to assist people in rebuilding. He also supported global health programs, collaborating with organizations like the World Health Organization to combat diseases. His companies, such as Tata Motors and Tata Steel, followed his example by doing positive work abroad, like building schools in Africa and supporting clean energy projects. Animals held a special place in his heart too. Rattan loved dogs and often talked about how loyal and innocent they were. He gave money to animal shelters and rescue groups in India and all over the world. He even took in stray dogs himself, showing others how to look after animals. His love for nature also pushed him to back projects like planting trees and cutting down pollution. He wanted the planet to stay healthy for kids in the future. One special thing about Rattan's giving was that he didn't just throw money at problems. He made sure his donations were used smartly. He worked with experts to plan projects that would last, not just give quick help. For example, instead of just feeding hungry people, he helped them learn skills to get jobs and feed themselves later. This way made his giving work better. He also got other rich people to give back. In India, where wealth is sometimes kept secret, Rattan showed that success should be shared. His example made others donate to charities and support good causes. Even after he stepped away from his companies, he kept giving, often quietly, so people wouldn't notice. When he died, many said his kindness was as big as his business wins. Ratan Tata's giving changed lives in India and other places. From schools and hospitals to villages and animals, he used his wealth to help where it was needed most. His work shows that one person can make a real difference, and his legacy of giving will keep inspiring for years. But how did he become a loved figure in Indian history? We can only understand this by looking at his early life. Early life and career. Ratan Tata was born on December 28, 1937 in Mumbai, India. He was born into a well-known family, the Tatas, who owned a large business empire. His parents were Naval Tata and Sunu Commissariat. When Rattan was just 10 years old, his parents separated. He and his younger brother Jimmy went to live with their grandmother, Navahbai Tata. She was a kind and strong woman who raised them with love and instilled good values. Growing up in Mumbai, Rattan had a nice life, but faced challenges, like getting used to life without his parents around. His grandmother's home was full of books and ideas, and that shaped his early thinking a lot. As a child, Rattan went to Campion School in Mumbai, a good place where he learned discipline and hard work. Later, he studied at Cathedral and John Connon School in Mumbai. He was a quiet boy, not loud or flashy, but smart and thoughtful. People who knew him said he liked reading and was curious about the world. After finishing school in India, he wanted to study in another country, so he went to the United States. He joined Cornell University in New York, where he studied architecture and structural engineering. He finished in 1962 with a degree and also picked up useful knowledge about business and management, which helped him later. Living in America was a big change for him, as it opened his eyes to new ideas and ways of working. When Rattan came back to India in the early 1960s, he joined the Tata Group, the family business. At first, he did not get any special treatment just for being a Tata. His first job was on the shop floor of Tata Steel, one of the company's big factories. He worked hard, wearing a helmet and boots, and learned how things were made. This time taught him about the company from the very bottom. Over the years, he took on different jobs, like running Tata Motors and other parts of the business. He was not scared to work long hours or go to far places to check on projects. The early lessons he learned about hard work and honesty guided him. Rattan slowly moved up in the Tata Group in the 1970s and 1980s. He showed he was a good leader, really listening to people and making smart choices. In 1991, a big moment came when he became the chairman of the Tata Group, making him the head of one of India's largest companies, which included things like steel, cars, tea, and hotels. With his lead, the company grew a lot. He took chances, buying big foreign companies like Jaguar and Land Rover, which made Tata known all over the world. He also kept the company's main values, like being fair and caring for workers. These were ideas his family always believed in. During his early career, Rattan ran into problems. Some people in the company at first didn't like his ideas, thinking he was too modern or strict, but he showed them he was right by getting good results. He also dealt with hard times in India, like changes in the economy and fights with other businesses. Yet, he stayed calm and focused, always putting the company and its people first. His early life, with its family troubles and strong values, helped him become successful. From his birth in Mumbai to his rise as a leader, Ratan Tata's early life and career were shaped by family, education, and hard work. Unfortunately, none of his romantic affairs materialized into marriage. What do you have to say about a kind man who went through a series of broken relationships? Let's hear from you in the comments. Thanks for watching. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe. See you in the next video.